Welcome back. So we have our file system available right now, but it's not shown anywhere. We're not using these components to do anything yet. So what I want to do is, for now, I want to go into the albums, and I already have an albums list component ready, so I'm going to put my code in there because I have access to that one so that I can show some information in the UI, right? And that's pretty much all it means. What I'm saying right here is just that when I click this guy right here and I click the albums, I'll actually have some kind of album view that we can kind of show what's inside our file system component, because this is not going to be, the file system component is not going to be an actual link. It's not going to be something you can go into directly. It's actually going to be a component that we can use in other areas. So we want to kind of maybe link to a specific page and then we can see some kind of file system, right? Because again, I want to make this file system a module that I can reuse in other applications. So I don't want the file system itself to actually be an actual route. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So instead what we're going to do for now is just going to add it inside the albums list, and then later on we might remove it again and we might change the way that the albums work because I have a great idea for working with that later on. But for now, this will be a placeholder, so it's all okay. And the way that we can put something into the albums list, let's just keep this part, is of course just to start putting the tags in here that we need, right? But first, of course, you need to import the new module, and that's the file system module right here I need. File system module, there we go. And secondly, what do I want to import? Do I want to grab the details file and put that directly in there? Let's just try and do it. Let's just try and do it to show you guys the value of the module export right here. So I'm jumping into the HTML, and let me just try and put in my beautiful tag for the FPA file details. Again, notice that's how I share the tag. I go in and pick the selector of the component, I grab the name right here, and I just paste it into the HTML as a tag, and that should be enough. Let's save this and see if this can now be shown, and notice it fails. So why does it fail? Well, it fails because the file details is actually not exported. So this is not exposed from the component or from the module. So the file system module does not allow that you can use this directly. No, you have to use the container, right? Why? Because the container, that's what we exported in the file system, right? The container is what we exported. So let's try and use that guy instead. Let's try, instead of using the file details, we're going to use the file system container here. File system, can you help me out here? There we go. Let's just use that as the end tag. There we go. And let's try and see if this works now. Jumping back to the code, and now we should get something in here. File system container works. So that's the value of the export. Now you know, right? Okay, so what does that mean? Well, this is not enough for me. I also want, of course, in here I want information about the actual file detail component, because that's the one we want to build first. Okay, so what can we do? Well, the file details can actually be used inside this guy. So I'm just going to remove the container for now. No, let's actually keep that again. And I'll just do an FPA right here with the file details now. File details. Because now it's inside the current module, right? So now I'm inside my file system module, and there it doesn't need the export. Let me try and show you what I mean right here. So jumping back to our view, now you'll see they're both there. It doesn't explode now. So that's the reason why you guys need to do an export inside modules. I just thought that was kind of important to understand why sometimes we do an export, sometimes we don't. Well, that's the actual reason.